Projekt Guru.
Welcome to Novorossia Rocks Radio Station. This is Zak Novak, your American in downtown Donetsk. Oh boy, I'm so glad to be back. I was on special duty, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody worrying, and I got all the messages on Facebook. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, so much. We have Guru. Good to see you again, Guru, project engineer, making everything possible for everyone out there to listen. Andre, the engineer specialist, also on the radio station. Thank you for all the hard work you do. And my lovely co-host, Natalia. Natalia, please say hello to the world.
Hello, Novorossia. Hello, world.
Okay, hey, over the weekend, dead and wounded, war crimes and atrocities by the Nazi Kiev regime. More update of casualties coming in. 1 killed, many wounded as a result of Nazi shelling of the Kievsky district of Donetsk by Nazi Ukrainian forces. It was reported by the Defense Ministry of DPR. Nazi Ukrainian forces conducted mortar shelling of the Kievsky district of DPR's capital. A 9-story building was hit and fire broke out on Zlotna Street. It was reported by the head of the Kubishevsky district of Donetsk, Ivan Prihodko. Just in, update. Thank you, Andre. It was reported yesterday that the Nazi Ukrainian forces have launched again and have repeatedly violated the ceasefire. According to the Deputy Defense Ministry of DPR, Edwin Basurin, 13 violations of the truce by the Nazi Ukrainian military men were broken for the last 24 hours. Basurin added that Kiev regime forces launched 14 mortars of 120s and 82 caliber, and also using heavy caliber guns as well. The situation in DPR intensified suddenly this weekend, Basurin said. Also, just in, Andre, thank you for the note. Defense Ministry of DPR has reported today, 12th October, about more violations conducted by the Nazi Ukraine regime. Villages, help me out here. This is villages of Grigorievka and Tavtichovskoye in the Telemovsky region were hit with mortar fire of 120s caliber. Still waiting for information on casualties. OSCE, where are you? Really quick before I continue with more intense news, some bright spots. Guru, your favorite sport, Formula One. Congratulations to Lewis Hamilton. Vladimir Putin was there on the podium, congratulating him. The great race in Sochi, Formula One. Lewis Hamilton, I believe that was his 9th victory of the season. Also, Russia comes in second place. Andre. Team Russia beat Moldova 2-1 and now second place in the group for the European qualifications. I'll be right back after this break. Back from commercial break, I'll come in more with some intense news, but important. We always do special topics of the day. Natalia is going to talk about an really interesting topic. I mean, the Obama regime still continues to support this Nazi fascist ideology in Kiev. What's happened is there's a holiday, usually it's a holiday called Defenders Day, and what they did was they moved that day over to a day they glorify Bandera. Now, if everybody knows, Bandera was a Nazi bastard, committed so many atrocities, and with that day it coincides, and it also coincides with a religious holiday. Natalia here, my co-host, she will elaborate on all of that. Natalia?
Yes, shocking news from Ukraine. Actually, this day, President signed the order that they will celebrate Defenders Day on 14th of October. It coincides with the day when Ukrainian insurgent army was established in 1942, and Ukrainians, as we all know, this fact that they started glorifying Bandera. And actually, they will have an official day off. All Ukraine, including capital Kiev, will have a day off and will celebrate this very strange holidays. According to opinion of many people, actually Orthodox Church will celebrate one of the biggest religious fest is called Virgin Mary.
Let's start with some intense news. And thank you, Mother Russia. Thank you, Vladimir Putin, helping out our brothers and sisters in Syria. Viva Assad. We all support you. New Russian fighter jets. Oh, by the way, just walked in. Wonderful friend and a sweet girl, Trixie. She's in the studio. She'll be doing some more news later here at Novorossia Projekt Guru. New Russian fighter jets joined aerospace forces to crush Obama's ISIS terrorists. Guru, are you ready? Sukhoi Sukhoi 30 fighters have been included in the air group of the Russian aerospace forces in Syria. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Major General Igor Konashenkov told reporters on Monday the Sukhoi 30 fighters provide air escort for all flights of our strike aircraft in the Syrian Arab Republic. The Russian aviation group has been making pinpoint airstrikes on terrorist facilities in Syria since September 30th. According to previous reports, the Russian Aerospace Force group comprises more than 50 planes and helicopters, in particular the Sukhoi 24s, modernized frontline bombers, Sukhoi 25 strike aircraft, as well as the newest Sukhoi 34 strike fighters have been involved in the operation. The airstrikes are delivered at military hardware, communication centers, transport vehicles, munition depots, and other terrorist infrastructure facilities. The military operation is conducted at the request of the Syrian President Bashar Assad. Russian warplanes wipe out 25 ISIS strongholds. Guru, this just in. Andre, thank you. According to the spokesman, Russian warplanes in Syria have wiped out 25 terrorist Obama ISIS strongholds and fortified positions of the Islamic State with armaments and other equipment over the past 24 hours. All in all, Russian planes have destroyed the terrorist stronghold near the village of Salma in Latakia province, 7 command posts, 6 field camps, and 6 ammunition depots. A motor convoy, 1 mortar group, and 3 underground shelters were destroyed in Latakia province. Russian bombers destroy Islamic State Transition Center in Latakia, Guru. The official noted that the Russian Sukhoi 24 fighter jets have destroyed a large transit center of the Islamic State terrorist organization with underground shelters and ammunition depots in the Syrian province of Latakia. As a result of a targeted strike by Sukhoi 24 bombers near the settlement of Salma in the province of Latakia, a large transit center with underground shelters and ammunition depots belonging to ISIS, a group discovered by space surveillance Guru, was destroyed by non-fragmentation bombs. A large explosion was registered on the site after bombs detonated and the facility was completely destroyed. Ura! Islamic State training camp destroyed in Syria in Idlib province. The spokesman also said that Russia's Sukhoi 34 fighter bombs destroyed a big camp for training of militants for the Islamic State terrorist group. Now, Guru, this training camp, this was actually trained by CIA, all right? Training Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And Mother Russia, Putin, Sukhois, and Viva Assad have destroyed the training camps. Sukhoi 34 bombers delivered an airstrike on camp of militants located near Bustum in the Idlib province. The reconnaissance report, the IS used the camp to accumulate militants coming from other countries. The camp also offered complex additional training and tactics and explosive technique where teachers were experienced instructors. Islamic State taking frantic efforts to replenish weapons and munitions arsenals along front line. According to Konashenkov, Islamic State gunmen are taking frantic efforts to replenish their munitions and fuel reserve along the front line in Syria as Russian airstrikes have ruined their logistics base. In recent days, terrorists are taking frantic efforts to pull weapons, munitions, and fuels from Raqqa province to the line of engagement with the Syrian army, he said, adding that the bulk of their weapons, arsenals, and fuel depots had been destroyed by Russian warplanes. Viva Putin, Viva Assad. Obama, ISIS, you will be destroyed. Guru, sad news. Ankara, Turkey, explosions, more than 80 dead. TV footage shows scenes of panic and people lying on the ground covered in blood amid protest banners. The report reads, the blast took place near the city central's train station as people gathered for a march organized by leftist groups. Turkey's president Erdogan, that traitor, that bastard, has condemned, he so-called condemned the attacks as terrorist attacks. He denounced what he called the explosive attack that targeted our unity and our togetherness. Government officials are investigating reports that a suicide bomber was behind at least one of the explosions. But the pro-Kurdish HDP party was among those attending the rally, which was demanding an end to the violence between the Kurdish separatists, PKK militants, and the Turkish government. The party said in a statement that it believes its members were the main target of the bombings. The leader of the HDP has blamed the state for the attack, which he called a huge massacre, and canceled all election rallies. Turkey is holding a rerun of June's inconclusive parliamentary elections on November 1st. Erdogan, traitor, it was you who killed those people. Congratulations to Lukashenko, Belarus president. Thank you so much, people voting for a great man. Bases opening up with Russia. Belarus President Lukashenko said he would discuss with Russia's President Vladimir Putin the establishment of Russian military bases in Belarus. We shall discuss this issue with Vladimir Putin. If Russia can see something we do not see, they will tell us, according to Lukashenko. If the issue about the Air Force is clear, then give us 24 aircraft, he said. If you do not want to give it, then rent them to us. Lukashenko says Russia remains the closest friendly country for Belarus. We are not only remaining a friendly country for Russia, it is the closest, friendliest country. He said some Western media, Guru, he mentioned that some Western media, are you ready for this? Has been turning towards the West, but this is not true. They would want to slander those relations. They have not and will not succeed, he says. Belarus is not base for attack on any country. Belarus will never become a base for an attack on any country, including Ukraine, Lukashenko said. Belarus will never be a base for an attack, he said in response to a question if Ukraine may expect a threat from Belarus. Lukashenko, referring to what Ukraine's President Poroshenko said, confirmed the lasting truce in Donbass. Truce is there. Then peace will come, he said, adding people should live in peace. What is there to Belarus, Russia, and Ukraine to argue about? There's nothing to argue about. Lukashenko, great man. Congratulations, sir. Andrei, Federal Security Service wipes out 3 terrorists in Ingushetia. A security sweep in Ingushetia has resulted in the elimination of 3 terrorists. According to the National Anti-Terrorist Committee, a group of gunmen had been spotted near the Gazi Youth Village, the Nazran district. A crack unit of the Federal Security Service sealed off the area. In the shootout that followed, 3 militants were killed and 4 others detained. The active phase of the operation is in progress. According to the available evidence, the Nazran group is responsible for a number of terrorism-related crimes, including killings of law enforcers and civilians. It has been established that the gunmen had been plotting a terrorist attack. Checks are underway on these terrorists responsible for other terrorist crimes. None of the law enforcers or local civilians were hurt in this action. Guru, the Dutch media in Holland will start their Nazi propaganda. The machine is starting to roll. Dutch regime media propaganda war machine against Russia and Donbass. A propaganda war machine in Dutch media to show the alleged role of Russia or Donbass freedom fighters in the crash of a Malaysia Airlines plane escalates ahead of the release of a report on the MH17 crash in Ukraine. This according to Dutch journalists. Dutch media are setting the tone ahead of the release, said Joost Noormuller, the author of a book on the MH17 crash. The latest in the chain of propaganda materials was an interview to NOS News broadcaster by a former officer from the Ukrainian Security Service, Vasily Volk. He said, until June 2015, Volk represented Kiev in an international team investigating the tragedy. Speaking to journalists, Volk said fragments of Russian-made Buk missile had been found in crash victims. He alleged that the missile was fired from a missile system that had been redeployed to Ukraine from Russia and returned back after the crash. The journalist said he was surprised at seeing this presented as the news, as he had already heard about it earlier. What came as real news to me was that Ukraine was once again leaking information. Leaking information on international investigation, the expert said, adding that the Dutch authorities were strongly against this. On October 13, the Dutch Safety Board will make public its final report, summing up results of 15-month investigation work. The document is to answer the questions about the reason behind the crash on July 17, 2014 that claimed the lives of 298 people on board. On 17 July 2014, Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777 passenger airline on flight MH17 from the Dutch city of Amsterdam to Malaysia capital of Kuala Lumpur crashed in the Donetsk region of Donbass, killing all on board. Most passengers, 193 people, were Dutch nationals. The suspected cause of the crash is that the plane was hit by a surface-to-air missile. The Dutch Safety Board is conducting an investigation. So, as you see, Guru, Dutch regime media propaganda will start and grabbing information from Ukrainian Security Service, using their info instead of the real documents and real investigations. So Obama's screw is turning and putting the blame on Russia or the Donbass freedom fighters. Hope it doesn't happen. Everybody, please be safe. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. Guru, Andre, everybody please be safe. As you can see, the Poroshenko regime, Kiev regime, Nazi regime is still breaking the ceasefire. Thank you so much for everyone. We'll finish the program with my favorite song or favorite songs, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Я лишь голос, всем не дающий спать. Если что не так, если что не так с тобой, я не могу молчать. Что мне слушать мои речи? Люди гробят свою печень, или каждый вечер ящик очень громко говорящий. Сколько раз топились, стреляли, слазали в петлю, только чтобы устала вечность обличать без тела вечность. Жаль единственный свой орган, связки сети, голос сорванный. Хотелось бы мне хотя бы на миг перестать быть источником боли, но прекратить безжалостный крик, назойливый звук не в моей воле. Правда, есть и глухие, которым на меня плевать. Без толку кричать в их ужас. Ты